Hi guys, hello, Matt here with your gamer goggles, gamer-goggles.com, and we are going to talk with Luke, ahoy matey, about Pirate Borg, which is a standalone game, but it's written with the offshoot. This is the limited edition cover.
Limited edition?
Offshoot of Mork Borg.
Mork Borg. That's how we say it, but the Swedes say Mörkborg, which means dark fort in Swedish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because well, you know, so my son was looking at the book and he's like, "Is that an R, a K, or a G?"
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "It's pirate."
Yeah.
So why Borg?
Well, I mean, this is my first book, and it's a hack of Mork Borg. I wanted people just to know what it was. And Pirate Fort or Pirate Castle does work. Though pirate with an E is not how you spell pirate in Swedish, so mostly it's, you know, a clever name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just when I first picked it up, I'm like, cybernetic pirates.
Yeah. So
I'm like, wait a minute, this is not cybernetic.
For April Fools, I made a different version of the cover, and I switched it to all green and black, and gave the pirate laser eyes and cybertech, and called it Borg Pirates. And Johan, the guy who made Mork Borg, was like, "You know, this can't be a joke. You have to make this game now." So we'll see. I gotta get the IP approved.
So will it be like, no, we can, well, space pirates.
Space Pirates, yeah.
Go reflect back to what was I don't remember the name of the movie, but they had ice pirates in it. They were harvesting. It's real old. They harvested ice.
Yeah.
And then he goes on this big long quest to save his love.
No, I've never seen this. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody comments below. I know you've seen this movie.
Is it like 70s, 80s?
Probably 80s.
Yeah, okay.
80s into 90s.
Yeah.
I think I watched it. Probably 84-ish. Man, it's gonna drive me nuts. If I remember at the show, I will come back.
Okay, great. Yeah.
We'll Google it after this. Anyway, so we're gonna start with Pirate Borg, which I'm gonna set that up. It's a tiny book, but they do things that are, I don't know, crazy, and they just fill it. I don't know how well you can see that. You can go watch my flip through on the 15th of September, and then my review will follow in a day or two, I hope. That's my goal. But anyway, so what's the premise? It's D20 based.
It's a D20 based system. You're rolling 3d6 down the line for your stats and referencing a little chart, just like kind of old school D&D.
Lots of charts.
Lots of charts. When you're building a character, you have 5 ability scores. There's no skills, so you just have the 5 basic ability scores, and you're gonna get a modifier from like a +3 to a -3. And then if you pick a class, that'll modify it a bit more. And then when you're trying to do something, you're just gonna roll a D20 and add your modifier. And unless the GM says otherwise, you're usually going for a 12 total.
I like that there's a target number rather than a lot of opposition. Well, how does that come into play later on with like monsters and stuff?
Yeah, so one of the big differences between Pirate Borg, Mork Borg, and say normal D&D is that it's player-facing rolls. So if you're fighting a monster, you're gonna roll to attack, but if the monster attacks you, the players will roll to defend. The GM doesn't need to roll any dice. Now, I usually will roll damage dice to make things go quicker, but after your players get used to the system, you can say like, all right, a skeleton attacks you for D8, and they can make the dodge and the damage roll themselves, and it can actually like adjudicate combat much quicker than a normal RPG, which keeps it exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because, so I play Star Wars, and they have a static-based combat to hit.
Yeah.
And as your characters get better, it gets a lot easier to hit combat. But
this game's like that, yeah.
so it does get easier as you level up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you have, you'll probably start with anywhere, usually in -2 to a +2 of your attack. And then after a few levels up, you might get a +3 or +4. But there is a mechanic in this game, the leveling up, we call it gaining experience. When you gain experience, you're going to roll a d6 against each of your modifiers. And if you roll higher than the modifier, it goes up. But if you roll lower than the modifier, it goes down. So you might actually, your gaining experience might actually be you taking some brain damage, or losing a limb, or you have an injury. So you can actually, your stats can actually go down when you level up. So it kind of self-adjudicates that you aren't ever going to have like crazy power creep, even if your pirate has 50 hit points.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool, actually. I mean, so, lots of undead.
Lots of undead, yes.
And the theme is the Dark Caribbean.
Yep. Well, I like to say it's a version of It's Earth, just not ours, you know. It's a version of the Caribbean. When the Europeans showed up, there were no natives. There were just all these abandoned temples full of treasure. And we get this huge exodus from Europe into the Caribbean, into these like metropolises, like Havana and Port Royal, are these huge cities. But then the undead come out of the sea and just wreak havoc. But the twist is that if you destroy these undead, they leave an ectoplasmic dust behind called ash, which is it's a psychoactive, psychedelic. I call it like spice from Dune, mixed with magic mushrooms, if you will. Yeah. So it's really fun for the game because there's a chart on, you know, when you consume ash that can make you level up or die from consuming it.
You can lose hit points.
Yep.
Because you're infected.
Yep. And you get to like, you know, there's black markets where they trade this stuff. It's fun setting.
So is ash a fundamental component of the economy?
Oh, 100%. We got. That's actually the first tables in the game that you see in there that aren't in the end papers are about the market price of ash.
Yeah. How long did it take you to come up with all these tables? He's got tables for creating islands, you name it.
I think there's
ships.
I think there's 120 roll tables in the book. I mean, you know, we worked on it for about, I say we, mostly me, for about a year and a half. There's a few spreads by guest creators, like that island generator you mentioned is by Jacob Hurst from Swordfish Islands. Two of the monsters are by Pella Nilsson, who did the original Mork Borg. But other than that, yeah, mostly me.
So the rule book in and of itself is, I don't remember how many pages.
It's I think the PDF is like 168, including the cover.
And it has 4 adventures in it?
It's actually one big sandbox adventure with locations that are designed that you could put them anywhere. So, like there's, for example, there's a 3-level temple that you could put on this starter island, or you could move that temple to 3 different islands. Because the 3 levels.
Yeah, you can cut and paste them. I actually, I haven't actually read the rule book yet. I just did the flip through. I was sitting down and looking through it with you guys, and I kind of thought they were different adventures because they were so complete.
Yeah. They're it's kind of that like 1-page dungeon design where you they can stand alone as, you know, locations. They don't have to be used with other ones.
So he decided to bring Buried in the Bahamas with us, which I haven't looked at yet. So why'd you choose this out of all the cool stuff that's at your booth?
So this is our kind of newest thing, and it's an introductory adventure for Pirate Borg. I'm pretty proud of it in that it does a good job of like hand-holding a new GM, but without steamrolling them. And it has a cool like spread, like this treasure map in the middle is actually in the middle of the zine, so you can undo the staple and take it out and use it as a handout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then there's some cool stuff, like on the back cover is this back cover here is it's a generator called the Recruitor, which is designed for generating pirate crew that might be on your ship or that you might run into.
Very cool.
Yeah.
They also have a whole system for naval combat, which makes perfect sense. I mean, it is an RPG, but you really can't have pirates overtaking other pirate ships or other naval vessels without that kind of combat.
Yeah.
So, what kind of stuff do you have here? I mean, you got a ton of stuff. So, I guess maybe we should back up and go to, this was Kickstarted about a year ago?
Yeah, a little more than a year now, yeah.
And is it totally in fulfillment now? Everything's out?
Oh, yeah, it's totally fulfilled. The Kickstarter's totally fulfilled. It's in pre-order still on our web store, and you can get the core book on Free League's web store. But after the Kickstarter, it got signed by Free League under their Free League Workshop sub-label, same label that Mork Borg's on. And so they're handling all of the retail distribution worldwide.
Oh, that's very nice for you.
Yeah.
That explains why you're not at their booth. You have your own.
Yeah, well, you know, they just have the core book and the character sheets, but then all the zines and cards and all my other like Mork Borg stuff. Like I have a 5e guide to naval combat called Living Grounds Guide to Naval Combat. All that stuff is at our booth.
That guide, is that more in depth than the guide that's in the rulebook?
Yes, but it's designed for 5th edition. So this is a rules-like game. 5th edition, obviously, a little bit crunchier. And I would call that system rules-like for 5e, but it's definitely more involved than this. Each ship has dedicated action points. The captains can assign the action points each turn, like, oh, fire the cannons or go full sail. And then that resets every round. So it's a fun system, but it has like power balancing so that you can say like, okay, if I put these ships versus these, it will, not be too overpowered. Whereas this system, Pirate Borg, is like, there's no balancing. It's just Wild West, Good luck surviving.
Good luck surviving. All right. So down the road, what do you got coming up in the works?
So the next thing I'm working on, well, the first thing is this book comes out in retail on September 19th, which is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Right.
And we're coordinating a worldwide retail event where if you've got the book coming in from Free League, you can get a retailer kit from us that includes a couple posters, some patches and stickers, and some free zines to give out to people who might be in the store to buy the book. And we're doing in-store play events. So if you're interested in that, check out our website, DrivethruRPG.com. But then the next project I'm working on is called The Dark Caribbean, which is a setting book for Pirate Borg, and we're going to do like a OSE version of it and a 5th edition version as well. And that'll be just like a big setting book with maps and NPCs and famous ships and all that stuff, so you can run a whole campaign in the Dark Caribbean.
And are you going to be kickstarting that?
Yeah, well, yes. And we're just getting started on it, so it'll probably, if I'm lucky, it'll hit Kickstarter mid next year. Yeah, but it's going to be, it's the book I've always wanted to make, so it's going to take a while.
Is that going to be just, that's not going to be, well, there will probably be more rules in it, but it's going to be pretty much a campaign setting.
Yeah, mostly, yeah. I mean, I haven't totally got into it, but it's not going to be a game, it's going to be a setting book, yeah. So probably not a lot of new rules, although we are working on a rules light system for reputation with different factions. Like if you piss off the Spanish or get in with the French or
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we're going to be doing a system, or a bunch of tables at least for maritime travel, so that you can have interesting events happen at sea. So traveling isn't just
weather.
Yeah.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Oh yes. The Devil's Triangle, as we call it, in the Dark Caribbean, is definitely a big part of it. We're gonna have Atlantis. We've got the Dark Yucatan. We've got Ponce de Leon as a, forever living glitch type dude. And it's gonna be fun. So.
A lich.
I don't know if but he drank from the fountain of youth, so now he lives forever. And
He drank from a corrupted fountain of youth.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yeah, and Blackbeard's a necromancer, obviously. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see what you do with the different pirate names.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they're all going to be in there. I mean, I've got cool ideas for. Captain Kidd is already in the setting, and he's a ghost because he got hung and they couldn't kill him correctly. And Charles Vane and all the big players are going to be in there. I ran a game 2 days ago where we're in, Port Royal had this famous earthquake that destroyed the whole town. So this game I was running started in Port Royal, and the earthquake killed all the pirates, and killed all my players. And then they came back as ghosts and played as the ghost subclass in Pirate Borg.
Yeah, that's an option, by the way.
Yes, you can play as a ghost, and then they were invited to Admiral Henry Morgan's ghost gala ball. And they had to get costumes as ghosts and go to this. So we're gonna have stuff like that in there.
Interesting. So maybe we should back up and talk about the optional classes.
Sure.
I mean, the regular classes, you got your fighter, you got your priest,
Yep.
you got your scoundrel rogue type.
Yeah, that's called the rapscallion.
The rapscallion,
Yeah.
and then there was a buccaneer.
Buccaneer.
Which is,
obviously.
yeah, obviously, buccaneer could be a lot of different things based on which version of which game you're looking at.
Yes. Well, our buccaneer is slightly historically inspired, and the buccaneers started as these French kind of pirates or sailors that would make these boucan fires and cook these meats. So one of the options for that class is that you can eat these boucan smoked meats, and they're like healing potions.
So the optional ones, well, we already mentioned the ghost.
Yeah.
The other one, there's two, right?
Yeah, that one you're talking about is called the Haunted Soul.
Haunted
So
Soul.
you can play as a ghost or a zombie or have vampirism or be a skeleton. And then the next one is Tall Tale. And that's if you could be an aquatic mutant or a mermaid. So if you want to be like a shark man.
Yep.
Yeah. And then my favorite part is the sentient animal. So you can actually be a monkey or a crocodile or chicken.
I think there was a squirrel in there.
Here, yeah. There's a rat. Yeah.
Yeah, a rat.
Clever monkey. My favorite is the fowl, which is like a voodoo chicken.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
You basically start with 2 like magic abilities, and then if you get killed, all Zelda ghost chickens will swarm your assailant. So you're not very strong as a character, but you can be, play a chicken for a few sessions or a few hours, and then grenade yourself to take out the big boss or something.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So you're sacrificial.
Yeah, if you want,
So are you gonna maybe introduce it's probably already in there and I just didn't pay enough attention, but more like some Jamaican style voodoo stuff?
So we actually, yes. Well, we actually had the sorcerer class was originally called Bokor, which is a Haitian voodoo style sorcerer. But there's a bit of a cultural sensitivity issue in that voodoo is still an actively practiced religion, and it has a really bad reputation of being portrayed negatively in the media.
Oh, that's fair.
So we didn't want to force that into the book. I have done a lot of research on the topic, and I have voodoo bokors in my personal game. But for this official book, we decided to call it a sorcerer. The other big win there is that there's a big Lovecraft influence in this book. So if you want to play a Lovecraftian style sorcerer, you can use that same class and come at both angles.
Anything you want to add that we missed?
Oh no, I think we covered a lot. Yeah,
We did. It was
quite
an intense, 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, sorry, I can word vomit. So
no, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to have conversations over interviews, I think.
yeah, sure,
All right.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Thank you, guys. See you next year, or hopefully you subscribe to my blog. Later.
See you.
Hi, guys. Meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in the link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know, you're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.